morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It is indeed my honor and privilege to introduce the speaker for today. During the May 2015 SAP, Sapphire & Nail, and ASUC annual conference in Orlando, Florida, I had the pleasure of meeting Ms. Dance Kelly. Ms. Dance Kelly is a renowned principal with Deloitte Consulting and is the forerunner of the West Coast SAP practice for the firm. Ms. Dance Kelly received her degree from the McIntire School of Commerce at the University of Virginia with majors in Finance and Management Information Systems. Ms. Dance Kelly's forte is implementing large enterprise resource planning transformations utilizing the SAP suite of software. With over 20 years of experience in executing SAP solutions across multiple industries and countries, she is legendary. Her clients include some Fortune 500 companies as well as major corporations. I admire Ms. Dance Kelly's healthy work-life balance, for not only is she a virtuous woman, but also a devoted wife and a loving mother. Please extend a warm welcome to Ms. Tanya Dance Kelly.
Okay, so is the mic on? Oh, yes it is. Okay, hello. I am excited to be here. So before I get into a little presentation on what Deloitte is and Deloitte Consulting and what we do, the reason I'm really here is to tell you that I do not play basketball and I'm a black millionaire. And all of you can be the same because I started out exactly where you are. I started off in the town of Petersburg, Virginia. It's down the road from you guys. It's about 40,000 people in that small hometown, and those 40,000, about 95% are black. And I, went to a high school that is known for athletics, not academics. But from there, I went to college. I did what I needed to do, and I have risen in my career. And it's not because I was anything special. I wasn't the valedictorian or the salutatorian. I was with the honor roll crew, but I was not, number 1, 2, or 3 in my class, but I found something that I liked to do and I was motivated. And so I've done it well through the years. So everyone here has the same opportunity because I started my career in Wilmington, Delaware, just up the street from where we are right now. So when I got hired out of college, I got hired to work at ICI Chemicals, which is up the street, Wilmington, Delaware. I lived on 4th Street. This was my first job out of college in Delaware. And from there, I've done many things in my career to get where I am today, but I didn't do anything special. I worked hard. And so I want to talk about what we do at Deloitte, and then I want to make sure I leave a lot of time for questions to tell you what you should be doing, how you should be preparing. The opportunities are limitless. Right now, Deloitte coming to your school and interviewing gives you the opportunity to be a self-made millionaire because partners in Deloitte, for the most part, are millionaires before they end their career. So you all have the same opportunity. As the dean said, our starting salaries with sign-on bonus are upwards in the 80s, and that's the starting salary. So from there, it's only up. And you all have the potential to do it if you want to do it. If this is something that you want to do, you have that potential. So let me start the presentation. I'm not going to hit every slide, and because I want to make sure that we have time for questions and answers. So I know you get lectures every day, all day, so I do not want this to be a lecture. I want this to be more interactive, more of a discussion, relax, breathe. I know the dean has told you guys you better come in here suited and booted and ready for this and pay attention, but I want you guys to relax and really try. If you have questions, make sure that we get those questions answered before it's over, but I've got to be quick to leave time. So I'm going to hit just a few of these slides to talk about what is consulting. So consulting is literally being an advisor to a company on a particular topic. You can be a consultant on almost anything. What I'm a consultant for is a technology consulting specializing in a software called SAP. So if a company wants to implement that software, then me and my team, we go and we help them implement that software because we're experts on how to use it, how to implement it, how to be successful in it. And as a consultant, you go to the client. That's why the first thing on there is traveling. So as a consultant, if you live in California, which I do, but the assignment is in Utah, Then for a year or so, you travel to Utah each week to work at the client site and help them become successful. Implement IT systems. We do advising and consulting, solving problems. That's what we do in consulting. So what are we looking for? So we're providing advice to a client. So we engage in various activities. We need someone who is not just smart, but can work with a client and talk to a client and help them understand what their problems are. So what we do is we go to the clients, we understand why they called us in. They called us in because they have a problem. So example for you, if you're at home and your computer breaks, you're like, I need a new computer. How do I figure out which one to buy? You go to Best Buy or one of the other places and you talk to the Geek Squad. And that person is a consultant who says, well, what do you need the computer for? Do you need the computer for doing graphic work? Because I might have you go to a Mac or an Apple, something like that. Or do you just need it for spreadsheets and typical business work? Or do you need it for this reason or that? So that's a consultant. So he's working for the Geek Squad, but he's a consultant. He's trying to figure out what the client wants, what their problems are, and what's the best way to resolve it. Qualities of a successful consultant. So we look for academic performance. So I'm going to tell you now, 3.4 is the GPA at Deloitte. So if you don't have a 3.4 GPA, if you are hovering at the 3.3 or 3.2, there better be something extremely special to make us take a look, because in order to cut down the number of resumes we look at, we stop it at 3.4. So if you don't have a 3.4, get your grades up. Get your grades up. So we will consider a little less, but really that less would be coming with I keep going in and out, but I would look for a recommendation from one of your professors saying, this guy's got a 3.2, but talk to him. This is a really good guy, so talk to him. Ability to think critically. When you come out of college, you're not going to know the answers. You're going to classes, but there's no way you're going to be an expert. What we're looking for somebody who can think critically. So I give you a problem, and you can say, this is how I would solve it. I would look at the problem, I'd ask these questions. Once I got the answers, maybe I'd go to an expert and then ask him some more questions, and that's how I would come up with a solution. I'm not going to, if I'm interviewing you, I'm not going to ask you the solution. I'm going to ask you how you attack the problem, because that's what we do in consulting. It's how you attack the problem. It's not about the one right answer. It's about how you think about it. So we want to make sure that you can think critically, logically, and come up with, this is the best way to get to the answer. We want you to be creative. We want you to take the initiative. So another thing in consulting is, I'm going to give you a problem that you've never seen before. So there isn't a right answer. You've got to figure out what the best answer is. So you've got to have that skill set to look at the quantitative things, the qualitative things, think of the possibilities. You have to make sure that you are looking at, this might have been the answer 5 years ago, but is there a possibility that we could do it this way now? What are the different options? Don't just come up with one answer, come up with 3 or 4 options, just like you would do if you were in a group activity. I know you have group assignments for class, and so there's 4 or 5 people all throwing out ideas. What you want to do is come up with the best idea. It's the same thing that we do in consulting. So personality traits, you've got to be comfortable in dynamic situations, because they change. Like I said, I'm going to Utah. That's where my job is right now. Before I was going to Utah, I was going to Seattle. I was working for a company that was a life sciences company. But now I'm working for a company that makes essential oils. So essential oils like jasmine and peppermint, things that are homeopathic, that make you smell or you ingest, that are all organic. I'm going from that company. I worked at eBay. So I mean, you go from one type of company to another type of company, because the software is the same. It's just the business processes in the company that changes. So you have to be comfortable in a changing environment. You also have to be comfortable talking to lots of different types of people, because you will be interacting with the client at all times. So you have to be comfortable talking to different types of personalities and taking leadership roles. So if you are in like a group activity for one of your projects, who always becomes the leader? So if you've never taken the leadership role, take the leadership role. See what it's like. You've got to be bold. You've got to try different things. You've got to grow and learn if you're going to be in consulting. Consulting lifestyle, Now this is a perk. I love this part. You travel all the time. Got so many frequent flyer miles, I'm always going somewhere. So you usually go to work Monday through Thursday at the client site. Friday you work remotely. So you get frequent flyer miles. When I was first out of college, my friends would be like, oh, I have homecoming here. And I was like, I can fly there. I have frequent flyer miles. So I would fly to the client. I'd use those frequent flyer miles. So after college, I didn't lose touch because I was able to fly and visit them at the activities. They weren't consultants. They couldn't fly and visit me, but I had plenty of miles and I could fly and visit them. So I love the traveling. I love having them clean my room every day at the hotel. I didn't have to do my own sheets or wash my own towels. Loved all that. Loved room service. I didn't have to cook Monday through Thursday. Oh, that was one of the best parts about consulting, was the lifestyle of being on the road. So who is Deloitte? Deloitte is the largest professional services firm in the world. That means we have audit, we have tax, we have risk services, we have consulting. No other firm has all of those capabilities at our size. So we are the largest professional services firm in the world. We are global. We're in every country, and we're in almost every industry out there. Within Deloitte, I've highlighted that I am in the consulting branch of Deloitte, and within consulting, I'm in technology, which means, again, my job is to help clients solve their issues through the use of technology. So I'm sure you've heard of consultants who help with business problems. So the client says, this is my business problem, and someone tells them, well, you should be doing this differently, this business process differently. What I do is I say, not only should you use the business process differently, this is the software, and this is how we would configure the software for you. And we do that in many different things in consulting. Deloitte, best place to launch your career. We have won awards forever, but some of the key ones for the 15th year, Fortune says that we are one of the top companies to work for. We've won the award for the best place to start your career. Top 10 firm in diversity, ranked number 5 on Vault for firms, and also best firms to work for, ranked number 8 for Consulting Magazine. So it is one of the best firms to work for. I did basically start my career at Deloitte. As she mentioned, I am a partner. I'm in charge of the West Coast practice for our SAP practice within Deloitte. I've been a partner for over 14 years. So it is definitely, and when I started, I was a programmer. So I started as a programmer, then I became what we call a functional consultant, which means I didn't have to code anymore, and working with the clients, and I've worked my way up through Deloitte at all the different levels. So I started my career there, and it's been a great career. We focus on developing people, because when we hire you out of college, we know that you're not going to be the expert. You're not going to know how to do this stuff just from day one from taking courses in college. So we hire you and we train you. So we're hiring you for your potential. So when we interview you, we're looking for, does this person have the potential to be a good consultant? We bring you in and then we train you. And then we put you on a client assignment. So we don't just drop you in day one. And then while you're with Deloitte, we have continuous training requirements to make sure that you're staying up on your skills. So consulting and technology is sort of like having a cell phone. Every year there's a new one, there's a better one, there's more technology out there, and you got to keep pace with it if you want to keep pace with technology. Deloitte University. So we built our own university. It's called DU. So I think there are 3 students that will be joining us at DU mid-October. We're having a co-innovation summit, and it's basically our own college and conference facility. So we built the facility from scratch. It is beautiful, it's full of food, it's full of food. There are snacks everywhere. But it's a conference facility. We have our own shuttle buses that go from, once you get on the plane, they pick you up off the plane, they take you to DU, you're automatically checked in, you have your room, you have access to all the technology there. It makes it easy for you to focus on the learning. So we take everything that you'd have to worry about out of the equation, so all you have to do is focus on the learning. So at least 3 of you will have prepaid tickets to go to Deloitte University to work on our co-innovation event for 2 days, all expenses paid, all food paid for, as many snacks as you can pack into your bag leaving paid for, and You'll get to see other students and interact with other Deloitte employees while you're there. I'll also be there, so I'll make sure I get the email addresses of the students that'll be joining us there. Again, our SAP service line, it's business-led, technology-enabled. That's the key part. So there is no technology unless there's a business reason for it. So the reason why we do this is to help clients solve their problems. So the client comes to us and says, you know, I have a problem, you know, I don't know how much inventory I have. I got a whole warehouse and I just have too much inventory. I don't know why I have too much inventory. I don't know what's not moving fast enough, but looking at, you know, my balance sheet, this is just wrong. So we look and say, hey, if you use SAP, this is how we would use it. Once you get all the information in the system, we can give you all the analysis to say that the problem is that this is not moving fast enough, or the night shift is stealing things, or whatever may be going on, or, you know, this whole brand is just not moving anymore. And you just can't see that because your systems aren't working well enough for you. Those are the type of business solutions that we solve by implementing SAP.
SAP AG. SAP AG is a huge German company that creates and sells business software and solutions globally. It is the world's leading provider of enterprise application software, helping companies to run better. Since the 1970s, the company grew big with business process automation, focusing on ERP, enterprise resource planning. Today, their solutions support manufacturing, finance, sales, and almost any other process in a business. It has over 183,000 customers in more than 130 countries. Customers vary from small businesses to Global 500 companies. Solutions offered. The solutions offered are mainly software and services. Software. The flagship is SAP Business Suite, primarily for large enterprises. Designed to manage complete business processes, SAP Business Suite consists of SAP ERP, the most important component, with financials, human capital management, operations, and corporate services as functional areas. SAP CRM, this is customer relationship management. SAP PLM, this is product lifecycle management. SAP SRM, this is supplier relationship management. And SAP SCM, this is supply chain management.
So one of the key things about SAP is it runs your complete back end of your office. So for example, as I was saying, I was just at PayPal and eBay, who just split off into two separate companies. But they have SAP in the back end. They use SAP for everything. So if you go to their accounting department, their accountings are logging into SAP to do their day-to-day work. If you go to their purchasing department, their purchasers are using SAP to procure materials and bring them into the company. If you go to the sales department, they are using SAP to track all the sales that they have. So SAP runs the complete back end of a company. So when you think of doing SAP, I think I'm right here. When you think of doing SAP, you're not just doing a generic piece of technology, you're focusing on a particular area. So myself, I focused on finance. So when I went to college, I was going to be a CPA. And then I took Accounting 201, and I was like, I'm not going to be a CPA, but I still like accounting, but Accounting 201 and CPA was a little much, so I became a finance major. I was also an MIS major. I had a double major because I was taking MIS classes because they were easy A's. I was like, so I can be a double major and keep my GPA up with all these MIS classes, and I had no idea what I thought I was going to do. In the end, I actually ended up working for SAP, working in the SAP technology, supporting the finance department with technology solutions. So it was, for me, the perfect mix because I liked the computers, but I also liked the finance side. So literally I took that combination and I went to a company and helped them improve what was going on in their finance department. If you like the operation side of it, like you like what's going on in the warehouse and understanding how many raw materials come in and how you change that to something and how much comes out on the back end and how to optimize that mix. If that's one of the things you like to do, there's an SAP functions and modules that do that. So you don't have to just be, you're not 100% IT focused, you're business and IT focused. So within what we do in SAP, also Oracle and the other ERPs, is you have to have a business side of what you do. You have to understand the business problem and then you help them solve that business problem with technology. So you're not coding in the back room. What you do is you're talking to people and understanding what they want to do and then showing them, okay, on this software, this is the best way to do it. So when I talk about it, I talk about your cell phones. So when you get a new iPhone or a new Android and you're trying to set it up and configure it the way you like, you're setting up the backgrounds on it, you're setting up the alerts on it, you're setting up which applications show on the front screen, on the next screen, and you're reconfiguring it. It's the same thing with SAP. It's just like getting a new iPhone, deciding I'm going to put this on the first screen, and then when I tab over to the next one, these are things I use next, and I'm going to put all my games on the same one. I'm going to put all my, Snapchat and Facebook and all those things on the same one so that I can get to them easily. It's the same thing we do with the SAP application. Is for that particular client, we customize it so that it works best for them. So it's the same thing that you would do with, literally think of it that way, of configuring your new iPhone, which I'm sure you guys get a new phone a new every year or so, and start playing around with it. What am I going to do now with it? That's the exact same thing that we do for clients. So within the SAP service line, you focus on, I like this particular part of the business, the sales side, the accounting side, the purchasing side, and then you learn the SAP modules that support it, and then you help other clients implement that. So we need technology capabilities, and we also need some business process skills associated with it. We've got a global presence, so Deloitte is across the globe. So if you're interested in traveling more than just the US, then Deloitte is a great place to be. I was in Singapore about 6 months ago. So you not only travel across the US, you also travel internationally as a consultant, because it's wherever your client is. Award-winning practice, so we have one of the oldest SAP practices, and we've gotten the most awards of any other service provider. So IBM also does SAP, Accenture also does SAP, so quite a few other large implementers do SAP, which is my particular area. But again, we're the best at it, of course, or I wouldn't be there if we weren't the best at it. But we've got a long history. We do other pieces of software like Oracle and different ERP systems within